Now, unsurprisingly, I said you left care at 16. You're not given a good deal of provision at that stage, correct?
No.
Nevertheless, you start intermittent work, but what you also do is start on the edge of what I'm going to call an addiction. Now, it's not drugs. In your case, your tipple was gambling.
Yeah.
Your gambling habit became such a problem that you ended up having to take out a loan of £10,000, correct?
Yeah.
Now, you've been paying back that loan regularly, but before you ended your gambling, and we'll get to the subject of this dispute, you had a bit of luck, and it was your last bit of luck in respect of gambling, correct?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
For sure?
For sure.
Well, I believe you because you haven't done it, and when you put your mind to anything, you've done it. You won £2,300 on the horses, correct?
Correct.
At some point, he wins £2,300 on the horses. Your life is in no happier state either, correct?
Yeah, correct.
He came to you to borrow £900, correct?
Yeah.
And that's after you had this 2,300 windfall. You were prepared to lend it to him, and you did lend it to him. And according to you, you did so in circumstances where there was an agreement he would pay back £20 per week. Is that right?
Yeah.
£20 a week at that stage would have been a lot of money for you. Now, sir, did you put that in writing at that time?
No, I didn't, because obviously I didn't think I'd have issue with it. I thought I was good enough to lend it. I thought, he told me that he'd be able to pay it back. So maybe he just said that because he wanted the money. So at the time, I just lent him the money and I got one payment back in 3 months.
When it was quite clear that £20 per, was it per week?
Per week.
£20 a week was thoroughly undoable for him, you decided to put it on a legal footing. This is a contract agreement between me and my brother, outlining the agreement to pay me back £900 he borrowed from me. Geoffrey has agreed to pay me back £10 a week until he's cleared the debt. £10 per week. You reduced the sum, in other words. Now, looking at that contract, at that time, there was nothing on the bottom. Is that true?
That's true.
Thank you very much. Why couldn't you pay the £10 then?
I was struggling. Things got dead bad for me.
How bad were they?
Where I was struggling to feed my kids. Like, obviously, whatever he had, it went on the kids. I went without, going around lending bits of money off my mum to top up the electricity and gas.
Understood. Now, at that stage, rather than enforcing the debt as you could have done, said you're not going to pay this back, you could have taken him to court in that way. What you did is you then went and did a third thing. At this stage, you went back to his house, this is in September, and that's when we get this last bit added. It says as follows: due to failure to pay, Geoffrey agrees to pay £300 interest. He also understands that I will keep adding interest if he fails to meet the agreement. In other words, you add a penalty in September. Now, look at that last bit. I will keep adding interest if he fails to meet the agreement. At what rate? 5%? 20? 1,000? 3,000?
I writ that. I was angry when I writ that, I'm not going to lie.
Of course you were. Believe you.
But I thought that'd help him pay.
You thought making him in more debt would help him?
Well, thinking, well, if he doesn't pay, he's going to have to pay an extra £300. And he signed it.
He did sign it.
Because I felt pressured.
Why did you feel pressured, sir?
Well, he treated me more like a client, he was a loan shark than my brother. You know what I mean? He just put me on the spot, round at my mum's, just slammed it in front of me, told me about it, and obviously I just felt, you know what I mean, like cornered, if you will. So I just signed it and left.
Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.